Hello there, welcome to part 3 of our court series. Today we're going to talk about advice for you as a foster parent when you're going to court. So court is really important. It's obviously where everything happens in the foster care system, and so today I'm hoping to help you prepare to go to court so that the courts will pay attention to you. Unfortunately, many foster parents make some really large mistakes. They don't realize they're making a mistake, but they make some really large mistakes. And because of that, the court systems don't always listen or take a foster parent's testimony or advice very strongly because of that. And so again, this is all about trying to help you have the largest, loudest voice you can in the court system so that you can help out these precious children that you're watching. And so we're going to start, we're going to go sort of through a list of how this is going to work. And so with that said, let's get started. So first of all, you have the right to go to all court hearings. There are some court hearings that there's no reason for you to go to, but you have the right to go to all hearings. And so again, this video is all about the tips to make you highly successful in court. Judges and magistrates, they don't give foster parents as much weight as they give other parties. And part of the reason why is because a lot of people ignore these rules that I'm about to tell you, and so that lessens what they have to say within the court system. Understand, everything you say in the court system is put on record. It's in the records, so it's not like they don't listen to you, but just understand this. If you take this advice, I promise you one thing, the judge and the magistrate will pay a lot more of attention to you because of that. All right, so tip number 1, remember your role. You are a caregiver and nothing more. I know this hurts. There's people that are hitting delete and stop on this video already, but unfortunately, as a foster parent, your role in the system is a caregiver only. That's your only role within the system, is to be a caregiver. And so if you remember that and you speak through your role, you can actually go outside your role and get some positive change. But what happens is when lots of foster parents speak as if they know what's best for the child and they know what's best for the bio parents and so on and so forth. And I promise you one thing, again, it's going to go on record, but in a lot of cases it's going to get ignored. And so remember, you are a caregiver and nothing more. Your job is to care for the children, and it's a highly important job, but it is your only job. Number 2, ask your GAL, what is the purpose of this hearing? Very important. Get from the GAL what the purpose is of this hearing so that whatever information you're bringing also aligns with the purpose. I know that sounds silly, but you'd be surprised at how many people talk about things that they don't really care about, because that's not really the purpose of the hearing. And so again, get with the GAL before the hearing and simply say, what are we trying to accomplish in this hearing? Number 3, I know this one's going to sound really bad. Arrive 15 to 30 minutes before the hearing. You'd be surprised how many people don't remember that you have to go through metal detectors and you have to sign in, and there's a whole process. And so make sure you're early. Make sure you're getting there 15 to 30 minutes early so that you can be prepared. So when your court case is called, you can go in the room, you're ready and you're prepared. There are some magistrates and judges that have the door closed, and nobody comes in and nobody leaves once the door is closed. And so if you have a magistrate or a judge that operates like that and you're a minute late, too bad. Whatever you have to say isn't going to be said. Number 4, do not bring any of your children or the foster children to court. I know that this is inconvenience, but there is no child care at court. Don't bring them. They're not going to be, especially your foster children, they're not going to be allowed in the courtroom. So just understand that if they need you to bring the foster child, that they will contact you and let you know, but that doesn't happen very often. Almost never. So leave your kids at home, get respite, get a babysitter, do what you need to do, go to court, and go to court by yourself, no kids. Number 5, dress professionally. Again, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but you would be surprised the number. I went to all of our court appearances, and I saw foster parents show up in shorts and flip-flops. And let me tell you something. I get it, but do you want to be taken seriously or not? Do you need to wear a suit and tie or a dress? Nope. But wear a nice pair of jeans, wear some kind of nice shirt. So when I went to court, I always wore jeans and a button down. When my wife went, a lot of times she would wear leggings and a nice blouse. So, you don't have to get dolled up to go to court, but look professional, because this is serious. And so, if you look professional, you'll be taken seriously. Number 6, bring records of anything that you may find valuable. So this would be things like a journal that you've done, maybe schoolwork, maybe doctor recommendations. A lot of times foster parents will bring things like journals. So a behavior journal or things of that nature. It could be school related stuff. It could be, so if you got them on an IEP or something like that, you might bring that in. But on top of that, make sure that you bring 4 copies of whatever you're bringing in besides the one that you have, because the court's going to want a copy, the GAL is going to want a copy, the defense attorney is going to want a copy, and most of the time the social worker is going to want a copy. And so make sure that you bring copies of any document that you feel is relevant to the case so that you can submit those to the courts, because everybody has the right to see what you have presented, including the defense. So the bio parent has the right, and their attorney has the right to see any document that you submit to the court. And so, but documents are very valuable, because it's not just your word, it's some written proof that says what you're saying is true, and so documents are really, really, really important. Number 7, this is the one where I get in trouble, and that is to speak clearly and slowly, and try not to use your hands too much. Well, my hands get in the way, but if you watch attorneys, they always speak fairly slowly, always very clearly, and they use very little hand motions. And the reason why is because people are able to receive the information in a clearer way when you do that. Again, I get in a lot of trouble for that. I speak with my hands a lot. If you've seen any of my videos, you know my hands are going crazy, right? And I typically try to get through things pretty quickly, and so I'm a pretty fast talker. And again, that's not good in court. So slow yourself down, speak clearly, try to use words that people don't have to pull out a dictionary to figure out what you're trying to say, and try to keep your hand movements to as minimal as possible. Number 9, and this is a big one, be prepared to be cross-examined. Whatever you present, the defense has the right to cross-examine you and say, well, I don't think that information is true. And so the defense is allowed to ask questions of you to either prove or disprove what you said. And so it doesn't happen very often, but just understand they have the right to do it. And so be prepared, if you're going to speak, to be able to be cross-examined about what you speak of. And then number 10, the last one, is to be very careful about how you speak about the birth family or guardian. If you are derogative or you speak down about the birth family or the guardian, I promise you one thing, even if it's true, the courts do not want to hear that. Just present the facts. Do not present emotion. And so this is really hard for foster parents because this is emotional, and the courts aren't interested in emotion. They're only interested in facts. And so this is one of the areas where foster parents really get themselves in trouble because they want to speak on emotions instead of facts. And so if you really want the courts to take you seriously, only speak in facts. The other thing is that give all the information in a very concise manner. Do not stretch the information out. I realized I skipped over my point number 8, and that is no long stories. So figure out what you want to say. Only give the necessary information. They are not interested in that Jimmy, went and pet a dog and then did this and then get to the point. These hearings are 15 minutes to 20 minutes long, and so we gotta get the information quick because there's 20 more cases right after you, and so keep it moving. Again, with no long stories, that keeps the emotion out of it. This happened, this is with the result. End of story. So as you're thinking about what you want to present, think about how do I present this in a way that I present the facts in a quick, concise manner. And again, that's going to take a little practice and a little work, and I promise it's going to be hard not to be emotional, but the goal is to try to keep the emotions out of this as much as possible, because again, it is emotional for you, but as far as the magistrate and the judge, this is just what's going on with the case, how's it progressing, what are people doing, what are people not doing. They're more looking for facts. What are the facts? So the second part of this, what I wanted to talk about is help you to be prepared to be cross-examined and questions that might be brought up in court about you. So if you go on the record and you present, so you may be cross-examined, the judge may ask you questions, or the magistrate may ask you questions. And so here's some things that you need to be prepared to answer. And again, many of these are no big deal. You're going to be like, yep, can do that right away. So the first is, how long have you been a foster parent? How long have you known the children? Well, some foster parents have known the children longer than the time they've been in care. So that's, do you have any specialized training? Are you specialized in some way that can bring value to whatever you're saying? What was the physical and emotional condition of the child when they came into your care? Again, those are things. What changes have you noticed through the case? What is the typical day for the child? Again, you got to keep in mind, you got to keep this concise, right? What is your relationship with the bio parent? That is a question that I've been asked before in court. What is your relationship? And have you observed interaction with the bio parent and the child? Describe the relationship between the child and the birth parent. Those questions have been asking me. What is the child's behavior like? How is school going for the child? What activities are the child involved in? Or, what kind of concerns that you have? So the last thing I wanted to prepare you for getting ready for court is, even if you have nothing to say, I just want you to be prepared. If your name is on the docket, which when you sign in, it will be, the magistrate or the judge will, before the end of the hearing, will ask you if you have something to add. And if you have nothing to add, what I generally said was, no, I have nothing to add. I am just here to understand how the case is progressing. And end of story. But understand, you're going to get asked if you have something to add, regardless if you have something to add or not, if you are in the room and you've signed in to the room. So just keep that in mind. So I hope that this has really helped you prepare to go to court. I hope it hasn't scared you. Court really isn't scary. Just understand it's a very professional environment. and they're only looking for facts. They're not looking for emotions. And I promise, if you can remember if you remember 3 things, remember that you're the caregiver and nothing more, and deliver your information via that, right? Via that lens. Number 2, try to keep emotions as much as possible out of it, and to deliver slowly, clearly, precise facts and facts only. You will be taken highly seriously within the court system, within the foster care system. The problem is, if you don't do those things, the court will somewhat discount your testimony. Again, it will be on record, but they will somewhat discount your testimony because they will feel that you have a bias in the case, and they're really not interested in bias. They're only interested in facts. And so, again, I hope this has really helped you get prepared. If it has, give me a big thumbs up. And again, I'm really looking forward to seeing you again on part 4 of our court series, acronyms and what they mean within the court system. Until next time, have a great day.